Hello. Okay, so I'm experiencing some interesting things here. And I thought, like, do I come on and do I talk about it, or do I just talk about it tomorrow? And I thought it's better to kind of do it now because I'm in the midst of it. So I am starting a company, and it's a company that helps people write books, to help other people and to attract more business. And I have been blocked when it comes to sales. I mean, obviously, I that's a very passive way to say I have been blocked, like someone else did it. Okay, so I've been trying to change my word usage around emotions rather than saying I'm blocked, because that's identifying as the emotion, right? I'm gonna start saying, and this is gonna sound weird to the people around me, and that's just gonna have to be the way it is, but I'm gonna start saying things like I feel blocked, right? I am observing the emotion of block. And thinking about it, like with Michael Singer, it's a literal block, right? It's a literal block of energy flow. Anyway, so I've been examining why I've had this block, and just like thinking, like, come on, like I gotta get over this. It's affecting my life. Wow, just saying I got to get over this and being like, I'm going to get over this really makes me very nervous. I feel very scared. It's like I've got all these things to do and I need to do them. But sorry, I'm looking at my desk. That's what I'm looking at. It's like all the things I need to do. And none of them are things that I am incapable of. They're all reasonably easy. It's actually quite easy. The things that I need to things that are easy, that come easy to me, right? They're not difficult tasks, and I have to do them. But I need to do them, right? See, it shows you how I'm thinking about this, because usually I'm very good about that now. Okay, let's just sit with the feeling for a second and feel it. I'm just going to observe it rather than getting caught up in it, right? It's fear, right? It's fear. And I've just been thinking, like, what is this fear about? Like, I need to get rid of this. I am getting rid of this. I want to get rid of this. It is my intention to get rid of this. Because it's stopping me from doing business, like having clients, like actually making a living. And it's nothing I can't do. And I just have the hardest time doing it. Why? Like, why? That's crazy. But there always seems to be something. I mean, something always seems to be more important. And I just don't know what things I should be prioritizing. And I get so, not confused, but overwhelmed. Nope. I don't get so overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed, right? I feel the feeling, and I observe. I'm observing. That's a much calmer thing to do, right? I'm observing the anxiety. I'm observing the fear that is in this general area. So, yeah, I have all these. I'm self-soothing all the time. Look at that. Self-soothing. It's okay. I don't, and I just have this, and I'm avoiding it now. See, even by saying I'm avoiding it, I'm avoiding it. I just have this like overwhelming fear of actually committing to doing, like, to blocking off my time and making sure that this is all I do in this block of time. Like treating it like a job, the way I need, not need, the way, not should, would do it, will do it. I don't know. I forgot. I just lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying. But I'm experiencing this, and I keep thinking about like where it's coming from, and there's this fear, and see, I'm just holding my breath. I'm avoiding it. I'm really avoiding it. Like everything in my body is avoiding it. My mind's like, nope. I just get distracted. I let other things creep into that period of time, so I don't end up doing as much as I should. And that's scary that I'm doing it, so why am I doing it? I mean, it's kind of insane, right? Like it's I don't know. So I've been trying to think about what it is, and I've discovered that it's thinking that I'm not capable of it, but I am capable of every single thing that I have to do. For some reason, I think I'm incapable of doing this. And it's stopping me. And I am going to get over it. And now I have to, because I set it on video and it's going out to the world right now. I mean, it's just like, it almost actually, it's almost a little bit of a relief. Yeah, I know, Jack. I know, but I also have to figure out how I can just break through this, because I haven't done it yet. It's this barrier, and I'm just trying to analyze it so that I can deconstruct it. I think the only thing that's gonna make the fear go away is actually doing it, right? Like actually every day between this hour and this hour, I'm taking care of only this. And then after that, between this hour and this hour, I'm only going after this. Like, why I have such a difficult time committing to that. So this is something I'm working on, and I'm going to work on. This is something I am working on right now, starting right now. So you might have to come along the journey with me. So that, like, this is an interesting thing. Yes, I know I'm analyzing more, but this is an interesting thing. Like, I'm so much more likely to do it in front of the camera, which is weird. Like, okay, like it's, if I say I've got to break through this so that other people see me break through this so that they know that they can do it, and then I videotape myself doing it. So videotape. Do they still say that these days? So if I do it when I'm feeling the emotions and I'm actually breaking through, if I videotape that, I know that I have to videotape that, and I know that I have to do it. So this is imposter syndrome, is what I'm describing. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real big thing. It's not a syndrome though, right? Like, it's not really, I mean, we say that with tongue in cheek because it's not a syndrome. It's just a way of thinking. It's not like it's happening to us by magic, or like out of some genetic trait. It just happens to everybody. And I've been letting it stop me for a long time. This is the thing. I've let this stop me for a long time. Like, thinking about it. This is exactly what has stopped me this entire time. Like, this is, by this entire time, I mean, when I came out of my depression. And that whole depression was caused by my belief that I wasn't capable of things. That's why this is so hard. So this is, I mean, like, I already came out of my depression. Sorry. I already came out of my depression like a year and a half ago. And by that, I mean, like, my moods lifted. I was able to do more. I didn't spend as much time in bed. I felt better about life, and I felt hopeful about the future. But the thing about that is it doesn't cure the problem. The underlying issue. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to be out of that. Like, so grateful to have found my way out of that. But that doesn't solve the problem. The problem's still there. I just have to deal with it differently. And this is, I know this sounds kind of weird and like it's no big deal, but it's gonna be a big deal for me. It's a real block. And I'm picturing myself, like, it's a block, like it's like a brick wall. And I'm just picturing myself kind of like around, like, just, and tearing it down. That's like how I feel about this. And it's going to be like that hard. But no, it's not. See, I'm psyching myself out. So I'm just observing, right? This is what we got to do. There's a tightness in my back. There's like this feeling up here in my chest and also in my gut that I am relaxing and releasing. Because that is what you do with these things. You don't tense. You don't hold on to them. You don't try and, that's what I'm doing right now. You don't try and push them away. That's what I'm doing. I'm pushing the imposter syndrome thing away. Cool. Interesting. So this is going to represent a really, really big leap forward for me. So my restoration isn't finished yet. Not that it's ever finished, right? I mean, we're always improving ourselves. We can always do more. We can always be better. Always. But this is going to be, this is a big deal. Not going to be. It is. Because it's happening right now. Which is scary, but I'm glad. I'm grateful that I'm saying it. Right? Just like I can feel the muscles in my spine, like surrounding my spine. Obviously, my spine is bone, bones and cartilage. I can feel it releasing some of its tension. I am going to videotape this. Videotape. I said it again. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the plan. I know I've repeated myself like 30 times now, but I'm saying it more to me than I am to you. So, that's how I'm going to be able to do this. That's how I'm going to be able to do this. So that's pretty cool. That's cool for both of us, right? Anyway, that's all I have to say now because I need to get to bed. It's a little later than I would like to be going to sleep. But I do need to sleep. And then tomorrow we start on our new plan. It might be some boring videos saying like, I'm sitting down to work now. And I'm not getting up for 3 hours. So that's what it's going to be. If that's what it takes. Anyway, so as always, I'm going to leave you with some thoughts of gratitude. Number one, am really grateful that I have this problem to begin with. I have a business partner who knows what he's doing and someone who is like so kind and patient and like really, really helping, someone who really is helping me. Like that whole, like the girl, Darina, who's, you know, in the support role of this, and he wouldn't be able to do this without her and Ron, his business partner. You know, I'm so grateful that they're there and they came together and that I met them and that they're helping me. They've taken an interest in me. Like they've really, I mean, I get that it's part of the plan, the overall make 100 millionaires plan. But they are keyed in. I mean, maybe they're keyed in on everybody, but they've helped me so much, and I am so grateful. And that's another reason I need to break through this block, because if I don't, I'm not going to not. But in so far as I have allowed myself to not do that, it is not being respectful to them. And that's a big deal. And that's something it's patterns, guys. I'm sorry to keep going on like this, but it's patterns. Like that's something that I've always had difficulty with. Like my depression started there. I'd like to stop saying but my depression started, when I felt like so guilty about depending on someone and not meeting, the standards that I need to have met. When I came home from Europe, I was living back at my parents' house for a little while, and I felt really guilty about that. And so I was really torn, because on the one hand, I wanted to pursue my acting career, and it was going well. And if I had devoted myself entirely to it, it would have taken off. It really would have. But I was so guilty about my mother and my father having to help me. And they didn't want me to feel this way. This is the crazy thing. They didn't want me to feel this way. I mean, my mom was like, get a fucking job. But at the same time, they didn't want me to, because they don't realize how they affect other people, namely their daughter. I just felt so guilty that I split my time between my acting career and trying to make money. Money. It's all the same thing. It's the same issues, guys. It's the same issues. What got me into my depression are the same issues that are holding me back now. So I divided my time, back to that story, I divided my time between those two things, with the end result, of course, that I could never get one thing going well, so I ended up divided between this and then every time I made an opportunity for myself, I made a lot of them, guys. I did a lot. I made a lot of good opportunities for myself, and I sabotaged everyone. And that's what I'm afraid of now, too. Which, again, ironically, stops me from doing it. I'm afraid that I'm not going to do it, so I'm not doing it. How weird is that? Anyway, all right, I am going to go to sleep now. I do need to rest. I'm going to get up. I'm going to start this project of breaking through this stuff, right? This is scary. This is scary. I am scared. No, I'm feeling scared. I am noticing and observing the feeling of scaredness inside my body and around my energy field. That's how I'm going to say that, because I am not identifying with the emotion. I am not saying I am scared, right? That's out of the language from now on. So that it's so much easier to say that, because when you convince yourself, like if you say I'm scared, that you're like, yes, I am. You know what I mean? Like, I just said it, so obviously I am scared, right? I am fear. And if you say that out loud, you believe it, and it kind of panics you even more, right? Or at least it does to me. I can only speak for myself. But I always lose my train of thought, guys. We'll get it back. Because it was exciting, right? Whatever I was saying was exciting. At least it was exciting me. Fear, not saying that I am fear. Yeah, so I'm not saying that I am fear. The words that you tell, words are so important. The words that you tell yourself are so important. So I've discovered also, and this might be a little pro tip for you guys, I have discovered that what you say to yourself really matters. And that you can start saying something that you don't believe to be true, and eventually you will believe it if you keep saying it. It's weird. I know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, eventually you start believing it. Sure. Yeah, actually you do. And then you see how much more logical that belief is than the one that you held before. So my big advice for anybody who's wanting to get over something, anything, just start saying the opposite to yourself. Write it if you have to, over and over again. I do that sometimes. I haven't done it in a while, which is something I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I haven't journaled in so long, and it used to be like an every single day thing, every single day in the morning. So I am going to, tomorrow, I am going to journal, because I need to examine my emotions more than what I'm doing right now. So, okay, that was like another digression from something else, right? Fear. The two reasons I'm feeling fear are because I have got this imposter syndrome going, and I have this fear of self-sabotage, so I sabotage thing going. And these are the things that got me in trouble in the first place. Not in trouble. Yeah, I mean, like that, those are the things that brought me down. Those are the things that just tore my life apart. And made me immobile for like 10 years. You know, that's what took my life away. So, of course I'm afraid of these things, right? So I'm going to have a little bit of compassion for myself. I have this joke with a friend of mine, an actress friend of mine, where whenever we like get sad, we admitted to this to each other. Whenever we get sad, you know, we like to pass before a mirror to see what it looks like when we're sad. Because it is so sad when I'm sad. And we say that to each other all the time. It was funny. Anyway, point being that I'm going to have compassion for myself. Because of course these things are scary. But that doesn't mean that they can stop me. I can only stop myself. And I choose not to do that anymore. Which is a scary thing to say, because what if I don't do it? But that's not an option. See, these things go around and round in my head. I hope you guys, I mean, the reason I'm doing this is so that if anybody out there can identify with the emotions that I'm talking about, you know, they can see that there are ways out of the dark feelings. There are ways out of the dark way of thinking. The things that keep you stuck, the things that keep you in bed, the things that keep you from achieving everything you want to achieve, from believing in yourself. Those things, you don't have to stay there if you're there. You can work on it and it can get better. I'm living proof of that. And if I could get better, guys, anybody can get better. I mean, I'm not talking like if you have some serious mental illness, but a mood disorder, you can handle it. You can. I mean, it takes meds sometimes to get you to the point where you can, but it can be done. So it's going to be a big thing for me. And I know I've said this like 50 times. But this is me breaking down one of the last barriers that's keeping me from being done with the period of my life where everything's a struggle. You know, where I'm broke and I don't feel comfortable where I live, and I don't have much of a social life. I don't go out, basically. I got so used to not contacting my friends during my depression. You know, it lasted for years, and I didn't ever want to be like a downer. You know, like, I mean, I was. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I was so, like, every time someone would talk to me, I was aware that I only said negative things. You know, that I only said, you know, that everything was bad with me, so it's the only thing I can talk about. Like, oh, how are you? Oh, broke. Like, you know what I mean? Not that you have to answer that, but, you know, I mean, I never had something good to say about my life. So at a certain point, I stopped contacting my friends because I didn't want them to feel that I was being toxic. I didn't want them not to, excuse me, I didn't want them not to want to speak to me. You know, I didn't want them to look at the number and be like, ugh, you know, so I stopped talking to them. Because, like, let's be honest, that's eventually how you're going to make people feel. And I just didn't want to do that. But as I got out of my depression, I have been contacting more of my friends and talking to them and finding out more about what's going on in their lives and telling them what's going on in my life. So that's been positive. It's a very recent development. Although I guess it started a year and a half ago when COVID started. I got back in touch with two friends, and it's just been slow. I'm still dealing with a lot of the shame feelings that I felt that kept me from going out. I'm still on the heavy side, but I was so overweight that I didn't feel like I could face being in front of the people that I respected. I felt so ashamed and so embarrassed. My vanity. I have such vanity. I am so vain. Which is ridiculous because I come on this camera and I have my hair everywhere in the middle of the night. But yeah, I'm pretty vain. And I didn't want to see again. I noticed the energy of vanity in me a lot. But I didn't see them for a long time because I was embarrassed and ashamed of the way I looked. And that's part of what's helping right now too. I've lost some weight, and I'm gonna, work on my eating. I am working on my eating. Gosh, this whole conversation, I've been so unobservant about saying need and have to and going to and all that stuff. That just kind of shows it's kind of deep in there. But yeah, so as I've been losing weight, I've felt more comfortable getting in touch with my closer friends. And I look forward to going salsa dancing again, but that's like another 20 pounds off. Because I sweat. I sweat when I'm at size 2-4, I sweat. So you can imagine at the size I am now. Which is nothing wrong, right? Gotta accept your body the way it is. But also be excited to improve. So I'm working on my eating, and that's gonna give me the confidence, both from the perspective of giving myself a task and completing it, seeing it through, over the long term. That's going to give me confidence in my abilities. And losing the weight is going to give me confidence in the way I look, and honestly the way, which is how I'm able to relate to people. Maybe I shouldn't be so hung up on it, but it's unhealthy. And I'd rather be healthy. But let's be honest. I can tell myself that all day long. But the fact is, the thing that is more important to me is looking better. We're not perfect, right? We haven't perfected this yet. I know that that's something I'm sorry, but I have to work on. It's just not something I'm going to address right now because I am working on a lot of other things. So I'm going to let my negative body image lie the way it lies because I'm going to lose weight anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna address that. But yeah, so anyway, that's what I came on here to say. I'm gonna stop talking because I think I could probably go on for another hour and a half. And I'm just gonna say that I am grateful, as I was trying to wrap up an hour ago. I am grateful for the people in my life who are helping me fix my life and who are patient. I'm so grateful for them. I owe it to them to do the best that I can. And I've realized this and felt guilty about it, and therefore felt so guilty that I froze. So that's a pattern. And we're going to break this pattern. We are breaking this pattern right now. And I'm grateful for that too. I'm grateful for all of you out there in Candyland, because I'm holding myself accountable to showing you that breakthroughs are possible, and that no matter how scary something seems, you can still do it. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do that. And I'm grateful that it's causing me to have to do it. So I am going to leave you with the thought, as I always do, that you can always choose to have a grateful day or night.